Welcome to another episode of Pro Football Talk Double D's Let's Talk Ball podcast, where we are your hosts, Damian Deshawn and D of D's Corner. How you doing this evening, my brother?
What's going on, bro? I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. Been a pretty busy day. Things to do. You know how that goes, man. Always on the go, trying to do things with the fam, getting things taken care of around the house. Just tapping in, man. We're gonna keep this a short show for the viewers. Keep it simple. We're gonna look into week 7 and of course the night's game between the Broncos and the Saints. I believe we won't do a deep dive, but we'll just dive into that a little bit, some of our picks and expectations, and then go into the picks for the week, and then make sure we get that done and we be out. But before doing so, we want to make sure that everyone knows to like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you check out D's Corner, Double D's Let's Talk College. We'll get in with you with this weekend's games. We'll probably do a recap and also be on the lookout for another show where we'll touch on recruiting, which will be called the Daily Chop. Uh, we will be premiering that show on Thursday of next week. We just really appreciate everybody for their support and we thank you. But, bro, let's go on and get into tonight's game a little bit, man. Bit of an enigma, but you let me know something about an injury situation that I wasn't aware of at the point with Derek Carr. He's questionable tonight, or is he doubtful?
I think he's out with oblique, but I just got an update that Rashid Shaheed is down for the season. I think he tore his meniscus.
Okay, dang.
Yeah.
Okay. So that definitely gonna affect my pick then. So
you want to change your pick?
Yeah, I'm definitely changing my pick then.
All right.
I'm gonna go on and touch and throw my pick out there for our viewers. I am definitely going with the Broncos tonight. I think that because of those injuries, even with the Saints being at home, I think that the Broncos defense will show its head tonight. Probably confuse Rattler a lot. Be some things, show some things he hadn't seen. He didn't look too bad in his initial start, but rookie, of course. So they're going to be able to take advantage of those things he's not used to seeing just yet, and it's just being his second game. But what about you, man?
That's the same thing, bro. I picked the Broncos as well. I think their defense is just going to be too much. Sure as hell didn't see this coming when we did this at the beginning, before the season started, when we were doing record predictions and whatnot.
Yeah,
we're actually about to start dropping some mock drafts too now. We're getting closer and closer to mock draft season as well. So but Bo Nix he's played pretty well, but that defense has really held them together. That defense is the heart and soul of the team.
Yeah.
Patrick Surtain can lock up Olave. I think they're gonna get a lot of pressure on Spencer. They're gonna confuse him. They're gonna get some turnovers, and I think the Broncos are gonna win. I think they're gonna probably smother. If I had to guess, I would say they're gonna smother the Saints.
Yeah, they're gonna smother them. I could see. I don't see. I'll put it this way: the defense is going to make the difference. I still see this as a game where maybe Denver scores anywhere between 24, maybe 30,
Right.
and it's just too much for the Saints. The Saints just don't score no more than maybe 14, 17 points if they get that far. Yeah. But I'm gonna go ahead and bring up our picks to the stage.
All right.
All right. Okay. I'll see. As usual, you know what? I always start with the first row. You go ahead and take it, my brother. We already
all right.
Those.
So next we got the Pats and the Jag. We both went with the Pats. I'm just not happy with anything I've seen from the Jaguars this year. They lose this game, I'm pretty sure Doug Peterson is fired.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's fired. I got some trade videos that I'm gonna get ready and drop maybe tomorrow or later on next week. But I can see the Jags selling off some of these high profile names, some of these upper echelon players, if you will, for their team. Christian Kirk comes to mind, especially for a team like the Chiefs, who is in need of wide receiver help. Tyson Campbell is hurt. Trevor Lawrence isn't playing well. Tank Bigsby's supplemented ETN as the number one back. Could he possibly be traded now? But if they lose this game to the Patriots, Drake May played well last week. This defense is still tough. It's still a young team. But if they come in and they lose to the Patriots, I'm pretty sure Doug Peterson will be the next coach gone.
Yeah, I say the same thing, and I see, as you say, we both went with the Patriots. I'm looking for Drake May to take that next step. And with so many things going on with the Jaguars, disarray, as we touched on, I think we touched on our previous show, which will be debuting at 7 o'clock. Um, that the Jaguars are an organization that has issues from from the top down. And
Yeah,
as you see, how the organization is being run from the owner, GM, and down, it's kind of really affected the team as a whole. I'm not going to put all of this on Doug Peterson because, as we said, we can question a lot of the picks that's been made,
yeah,
over the last 3 years at least. I mean, some of them you expected, like Trevor Lawrence. It is what it is. I wouldn't call him a bust, but he isn't what they thought he was going to get. And then everything else going after that is just been questionable. But yeah, I
yeah.
take the Patriots here, man. But we can move on.
All right, then we both took the Falcons over over the Seahawks. I just think I like what I see out of the Falcons defense. Like I know we know what their offense is, we know what their offense has. I don't know that Matt Judon is still the same player that he's been, but
Mm-hmm.
that secondary is nice. I think that secondary can go toe to toe with the three-headed monster that the Seahawks have with Metcalf, Lockett, and Jackson Smith and Jigba. I expect Geno to make one costly turnover. I've liked what I've seen thus far from the Seahawks. They are a battling team, a
Mm-hmm.
fighting team, especially coming under a rebuild, under a new coach, a new atmosphere, um, a new standard, if you will. They're going back to being mainly a defensive team, but they have hella weapons on offense. I just think they're not going to be enough when you're matching up with the Atlanta Falcons. Kirk Cousins was cooking last week,
Yeah.
500 something yards in the air. I expect them to
Mm-hmm.
continue to pick it up. They're starting to seem like they're getting Kyle Pitts more involved.
Yep.
He was a player that I was anticipating could possibly be traded if they didn't see how they could use him. And another team like the Chiefs, if they would have been able to get a player like Kyle Pitts for when Kelsey is gone,
Mm-hmm.
man, the NFL would really hate the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes then. But what's your thoughts on here?
Man, I'm gonna keep it simple. I'm not gonna be long-winded as I was with the Jags situation. The Falcons right now, one word: rhythm. They're getting in a rhythm, and they're a dangerous team because they're now
Yep.
in a rhythm. Uh, the rhythm offensively, rhythm defensively. Everyone is getting their assignments. Uh, the health situation is not dire as they continue to get better. They're just getting acclimated, and Cousins is starting to get used to what he has around him. He has actually more tools around him than he even had in Minnesota, as hard as that is to believe. It doesn't mean all of them are
Right.
better, but he has better tools overall than what he had in his time in Minnesota. And the Falcons are just playing really good brand of football right now. And they're clicking on all cylinders. So I don't expect anything to change here.
All right, and then we got the Bills with the Titans. There's no real in-depth needed here. The Titans aren't playing good football. The Bills have been playing good football. They're coming off a win. They just acquired Amari Cooper. I'm expecting them to put on a show against the Titans.
Me too. Amari Cooper acquiring him. You got Keon. You got the running game. The defense is playing well. And once again, no need to drag it out. I don't trust a quarterback that puts mayo in his coffee. As a matter of fact, I don't trust anyone who puts mayo in their coffee. We can move
Right.
on. All right, man.
You
We
are.
moving on. We got the Bengals and the Browns, man. We both took the Bengals. What's your take first?
Definitely a better football team than the Browns. The
Yeah.
Browns look pathetic. The Browns look terrible. The Browns should probably be trying to sell some of their players off, which is a terrible thing to say because this team had a ton of promise, a ton of defensive help. They were just a quarterback shy, and that we saw what they were able to do with Joe Flacco took over. Deshaun Watson looks like a shell of himself. He doesn't look like the same quarterback. And to be honest with you, I don't think that we'll ever see him be what he was in Houston.
Nope.
I don't think that's in him anymore. And literally, the man is living like a king, robbing the Browns for the next few years.
Crazy. Well, for me, man, similar. I just look at it as two teams. I would say that the Bengals are not extremely better than, but they got a better situation than what
Yeah,
what we're seeing in their quarter. And the key thing, quarterback situation is much better in Cincinnati than it is in Cleveland. Cleveland is looks like it's Cleveland in right now, doing what they have traditionally been known to do over the past few decades. This team right now, Cleveland is the team that I would get my vote for the biggest disappointment so far in the NFL season because you
yeah,
had them finishing no less than second in the division, and they just look just terrible.
that'll be last time. And then they just traded
Yeah,
Amari Cooper too. So
yeah.
Deshaun Watson was already struggling. You took one of his top targets away. So
I would
I don't
love,
see it.
I would love to get Miles Garrett. I
Man,
would love to get Miles
about a
Garrett in
ton of teams would.
Dallas.
A ton of teams
Yes,
would.
a
A
team that
ton of
need
teams would.
he can come home to a team that needs defensive line help. Uh, I ain't gonna get into that, but yeah, we
Yeah.
can move on. We got the Texans versus the Packers. Uh, I'll go with this one. I took the Texans just for the similar reason we said about the Falcons. They're starting to click, rhythms hidden. They got
Mhm.
weapons galore. The only thing I would be concerned about in this game is simply Lambeau Field, and the environment there. Coming into Green Bay and knowing that Green Bay has a good defense and their offense, so I expect this to be a very, very entertaining game. Though it's one of those could go either way. It could be a 24-20, 27 type game, or it could be an all around shootout.
Right.
Yeah, all around shootout. This game is going to be this is the game of the week for me. Um, but for you, let's just move on. For you, why did you pick Green Bay?
Yeah. Well, I went with Green Bay. They're clicking as well. Both teams are
Hmm.
clicking. I like both teams, to be honest with you. I like both quarterbacks.
Hmm.
Green Bay's defense, they've had a turnover in every game so far this season.
Hmm.
Xavier McKinney's playing lights out football at the safety position. You got Jair Alexander back. The defense is clicking. I think they'll be able to help Jordan Love out, stopping the run. They don't have a legit number one wide receiver, but I don't think that goes against them. I actually think it helps them because you can't key on anybody. They have 3-4 weapons at wide receiver who can touch the ball and hit their head on the goalpost at any point in time. So this is just, I think it's going to be a slobber knocker game. I think it's going to be a very exciting game.
Hmm.
Uh, like a heavyweight boxing match. They're going to try to feel each other out the first quarter, but then they're going to start taking their power swings. And I'm just expecting Green Bay to win by a field goal.
I can understand. I got you. All right. Well, we move on. We got the Colts and Dolphins. For me, I took the Colts simply because whether it's Ant, which most likely will start, or Flacco, I
Is
just look at the
that
quarterback. Yes, Ant, but the quarterback situation is better. The
yeah.
pieces right now, the Dolphins have a sum of parts, but they don't have the trigger man to get to execute. And I look at the Colts being in a better situation right now. I think it'll be a fairly close, low scoring game, but I have the Colts winning it.
Same things, you. Um, the Dolphins, they since Tua's gone down, they just haven't looked like the same team. Um, Anthony Richardson has been down. He's coming back. Um, hopefully he plays well, but I'm not expecting either team to put up a ton of points.
Hmm.
Um, maybe a 17-10 win, a 17-10 victory for the Colts. But right now that we'll take what we can get.
All right, we got the Lions and the Vikings. Whoo, this one here, man. I don't want to go against the Vikings, but I think this might be the game where I don't want to say Sam Darnold kind of falls back down. I won't use that because they've shown consistency and he's operated well within the offense. But I just think the Lions game and the way they play, coming off of that statement win, even though Dallas, I don't expect Dallas to be an elite. They're not an elite team this year.
Mm-mm.
They made a statement. They made the
Yes.
biggest statement on Sunday. They made a huge statement. because basically this kind of statement they make you see in college and high school games. NFL games don't go like that. That was fairly embarrassing, to do what they did to Dallas and then basically trolled them during the game. That was
Yeah,
pretty much putting the rest of the conference at the minimum on notice.
they
This is
used a
yeah,
season's worth of trick plays in
yes.
one night. They used a season worth of trick plays in one night.
Yeah, so I just took Detroit because I think they're the better team, and that they'll operate offensively and defensively. I mean, even without Hutch, we know he's down.
Yeah,
I still think the sum of their parts are better overall right now than the Vikings. I do think that the Vikings will hang a lot better than Dallas did,
yeah.
but I just think the Lions will just have still too much talent around on defense and too much talent on offense. I think they'll be able to put up too many points for the Vikings to keep up with.
I almost went with the Vikings, but they're coming off a bye in the game that we're talking about with the Lions that they're coming off of. I feel like they're
Yeah,
riding high on momentum. I just
yeah,
think that maybe they'll split later down the road with them, but I think
mhm,
they'll take this one. The team is playing better. Now, the Vikings did trade with the Texans and bring back Cam Akers, your
mhm.
Florida State boy. Um,
Yeah,
who is he's a good running back. That just signifies to me that Aaron Jones is going to be out for longer than they anticipated, or he's going to need some help when he does come back. I think Hawkinson is still out, but
mhm,
they do got Addison back and Justin Jefferson. So the Lions secondary will have its work cut out for them. But they're coming off a great showing against the Dallas Cowboys, and I just expect them to still be riding high on that momentum.
yeah,
All right, so next up we got the Eagles and the Giants. We both went with the Eagles. It's very simple to me. Malik Neighbors just cleared protocol, so I don't know that he'll play.
mhm,
Daniel Jones, they can't run the ball really.
yeah,
Saquon back. Saquon's coming back to New York. I'm expecting the Eagles to get back to running the ball and showcasing a lot of Saquon.
yeah,
And then the Giants also lost Andrew Thomas for the season. So
yeah,
your quarterback's already not good. You lost your best offensive lineman. You can't really run the ball. Your number one wide receiver's down. It's a lot working against the New York Giants.
okay. For me, I took Philly also for very much the same reasons. I think that the Giants just don't have enough offensively, man. With the situation with Neighbors, I think their defense will keep. I think the defense will actually keep New York in the game for a little while, but then I
Yeah,
just think Philly will pull away late because of some of the issues that Philly's had with inconsistency. So I think this game, the fact that the Giants like to muddy up stuff,
right.
that it'll keep it ugly for a little while, but Philly will win the game.
Then we got the Raiders and the Rams. Cooper Cup is back practicing. I'm not sure if he's going to play or not. I
Hmm.
just I like the Rams more than I like the Raiders. Raiders right now seem like they're going to be trying to focus on securing a high draft pick for next season, which to be honest with you, they should. It's been talks that they will not trade Max Crosby. We'll see how many first round picks, changes that idea of
Yeah,
them. But right now, I think the Rams, they got a young defense, but I think that offense is going to be too much for the Raiders.
yeah, same here. I just think the Raiders are still a gritty team, still going to fight. You're still going to have to earn the win. But
Mhm.
overall, I just think the Rams are just going to run roughshod and be able to just move the ball and do what they need to do. So that's why I chose the Rams, man. I just think some of their parts are better right now, better football team.
That's the same reason I picked the Commanders over the Panthers. Jaden Daniels is playing phenomenal football. He is efficient. He's electric.
Hmm.
It seems that he makes every right decision. Coming off a tough loss to the Ravens, where they played them, they fought them tooth and nail.
Yeah,
I just think they're going to put something on the Carolina Panthers. I don't think Panthers
yeah,
are.
yeah.
We know what the Panthers are.
To be honest, this game could be the NFL's version of LSU versus Florida last year, the game in which
Mm,
he won the Heisman off of. This could
Molly
get
Walker.
ugly. Yeah, this could get
Hmm.
real ugly. I think he's already bringing, eyes to the television. The league is taking notice, but I think he puts a lot of people on notice that he's next, and he's
Absolutely.
not. That he's now.
Yeah.
He's gonna serve these boys up real nice. Washington big here, man. I really just think they about to. I wouldn't be surprised to see a Lions Cowboys kind of score. I think they
Yeah.
just boat race these boys.
Then we got the Chiefs and the 49ers. I went with the Chiefs. You took the 49ers. Um, the Chiefs are coming off a bye. I know they're down Rashee Rice. I just love Andy Reid coming off a bye. Patrick Mahomes is still
Mhm.
Patrick Mahomes. And until the 49ers can actually stop them, he's got their number. So, I mean, to me, it's just history kind of repeating itself. It'll be a tough game. It'll be a close fought game, but I'm
Mhm.
expecting the Chiefs to win.
Yeah, I took the Niners, man, because I think one, I kind of look at it as their due. I think they're
Yeah.
still not perfect, but they found the sum of the parts. They've drafted well, and you see that they're able to continue to overcome situations with injuries, whether it's situations where they're still trying to get their leg, their season sea legs up under them. They're surprisingly 3-3 with their record, which is a surprise. But I just have a feeling at home that they're gonna make a statement. This is a statement win for them. It's not definitely not gonna be a blowout. It's gonna be close, but in these kind of games, this is gonna be the kind of game that they take and let everybody know that we ain't done yet.
Right, right,
Mhm. Mhm.
right.
All right, we got the Jets and Steelers, man. I took the Jets simply, I like the trade. I'm a little skeptical of where the organization as a whole is wanting to go. I wasn't
Yeah,
necessarily agreeing on the firing and things, but as far as where the Jets go as a whole, I think adding that piece, it's going to take a little while with the rhythm as far as the offensive system. But knowing that they played together and you still got Lazard, you got weapons. If the offensive line for the Jets holds up, I think Aaron can do some work here. And I just don't necessarily trust Fields to be able to generate enough points offensively for them because they're going to have to get Harris and Fields going in the running game. And you're really going to need to pass the football to win this
yeah.
game. And I just don't trust
And
it.
I went with the Jets. There's talks of the Steelers possibly starting Russell Wilson, him
Okay.
getting into work. Uh, I think the Steelers are 4-2,
Hmm.
tied for the division right now. I wouldn't take Justin out. I would wait, but I think this is a game here where the Jets should be high on energy after the Devontae Adams trade. You just lost to the Bills by 3. It was a tough game. Your defense played well. I think the defense will continue to fight, continue to do what they've been doing. And now it's time for Aaron Rodgers and the offense to make plays. And I think Devontae Adams is his security blanket. This should open up opportunities down the field for Garrett Wilson. This should
Yeah.
he should now be able to beat one-on-one coverage going up against the second or third corner. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going Jets here. I like the trade for Devontae, just the chemistry thing. I don't think this makes them a superstar team. I don't think this makes them a Super Bowl team. I still
No.
think they can be a playoff team, but the Steelers do have a
Yes.
tough defense as well, led by J.J. Watt. So we'll see what havoc they're able to bring and how much chaos they're able to cause around Aaron Rodgers. But I still
Okay.
like the Jets to win by field goal.
Okay. All right. We move on. We got probably the second best game on the schedule
Yeah,
after the Bucks and the Ravens. I think this game honestly boils down to who runs the football, man. Does King Henry keep cooking, or does the two-headed monster in Tampa keep it going with Bucky and what's my guy from Syracuse? I forgot his name, but
Sean Tucker.
yeah, Sean Tucker. Uh, do they keep the running game consistent for him and allow Baker to just execute and not have those turnovers? I don't think the turnovers that Baker had in the last game he can have this game.
Oh,
He has to
absolutely
be,
not.
yeah, he has to be more efficient, man.
Yeah,
Continue to move the ball. The defense continue to play, and hopefully they continue to get healthy. That's why I took Tampa. I think that they will be able to run the ball. I think they'll still be able to, even though the Ravens are starting to look like they're getting the offensive line situation that they had earlier, getting it in order and getting things back on track. I still think Tampa wins this game at home, and it's going to be a close one, field goal game.
I got the Ravens. I'm thinking King Henry's going to be running the rock. They're going to feed him a lot down in Tampa. Lamar will make plays. I am weary of the Ravens defense because they have allowed a ton of teams to come back. They're riding high. They played a close game against the Commanders. I could see the Buccaneers winning this game and being able to pull it out by a field goal. I'm just going to say that the Ravens beat them by 7.
Okay. All right, man. You want to close this one out, or you want me to do it? I got it either way.
I'll close it out. The last one, we got the Chargers and the Cardinals. I went with the Chargers. The Chargers are quietly at 4-2, if I'm not mistaken. They are able to run the ball. They're able to play defense. Arizona, I'm not sure if Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to play. I know he went out last week with a concussion. I think it's just going. I think defensively they're just going to be too much for Kyler and James Conner. So it should be a close game. 24-20 maybe.
Yeah.
I can see a score like that, but I'm going with the Chargers.
Yeah, I went with the Cardinals because for some reason I'm still on this Kyler on their back kind of situation. I know Harrison may not be playing. I'm looking for them possibly to use it, his legs in the game, and they have to establish the running game with Connor and Benson and their plethora. Young defense still trying to find themselves. I don't think that the Chargers have enough weapons offensively to get it done. Of course they're going to depend on, Dobbins, you got Herbert, but I don't think on the perimeter, I don't think they have enough. So I like the Cardinals here close.
Yeah. I can see it.
You can see it. But that's it, man. That's it. We've tapped into our picks. We want to make sure, once again, you guys hit like, share, and subscribe. Also, check in with D's Corner. D be tapping in with you with even more in-depth information on our NFL moves, latest trades, picks. You have something coming up where you're going to be talking about possible trades.
Possible
trades. Of course, you already mentioned we get ready to get into mock draft season. Also, Double D's, let's talk college. We got to get back into that. We got a big game, Georgia, Texas this week.
Yeah.
Who you like in that one? Before we get out of here, we're going to hit a pick in
Texas.
on that. Yeah,
I'm gonna go Texas.
I like the way Texas.
It's at Texas, man.
It's in Austin. Yeah. It's in Austin. I like Texas too.
I think Carson Beck, man. I think he's been pissing down his leg lately. He didn't play tough against Kentucky. They were able to come back in that second half against Bama. Yeah. I just think Texas is overall a different animal. They got two solid quarterbacks with Quinn and Arch. They got talent galore, nice young running backs, phenomenal wide receivers. They got a solid defense, and that's a tough place to play. That's a tough place to play. Georgia's traveling. They're on the road. It's an evening game though, so it's not like when Alabama went there a couple years back and they played at like 11 or something. So it's an evening game. So I think I'm gonna go Texas in that game.
Yeah, I like Texas in the game, but the one thing I watch out for Georgia is the fact that two things they got: defense and running the ball. That travels, bringing it, but they're gonna it travels. They're gonna have to match Texas's offense, but I think there's some things we gotta. I'm just gonna be interesting to see what Sark does in drawing up schematics against Kirby. That's gonna and you got Muschamp on that sideline too, and Glenn Schumann. So, it's gonna be interesting to see if Georgia. I think Georgia has to get a little different than what it traditionally plays. Get after the quarterback a little more. You're gonna have to. You just can't play, the match coverage and things like that. Try to shut things down that way. You're gonna have to get after this quarterback here. You're not gonna be able to just sit back there and confuse, because he'll pick you apart and they'll just work, with their receiving core, what they got in the weapons. And the Texas's defense is starting to really turn it up too. But you know what? That pretty much concludes the show. We like to make sure everyone, once again, like, share, and subscribe. We really appreciate you. Thank you and peace out.
Deuces.